How's it going? Dave here, No Coast Fantasy Sports, but of course you know that if you are watching. Bringing you today the Oleinik Lewis DFS primer for DraftKings and FanDuel. Um, Reason I am doing this a little late is because I wanted to wait and hold out. We've had a lot of last minute news, that kind of stuff go on in the past couple fight cards. So I just wanted to gain all the information that I could, and I mean there will probably be 3 hours or so left before the fight card starts. You're watching this, maybe two, which is about the time you probably should be crunching your lineups for DFS anyway after reserving all your spots, etc. But anyway, let's get to it. This is going to be a 12 fight card. Main event, we got Lewis versus Oleinik. Lewis coming in at 8,700 on DraftKings, 21 on FanDuel. Lewis 23 and 7. His average fight point fantasy points is 61.8. It's a -1 reach and a +1 height on Oleinik. Like height reach wise, they balance out pretty much the same. I'm gonna have a little bit of exposure to Lewis. I personally like Oleinik a lot more just for the cost savings. Um, Lewis is a 91% finish rate, but he recently changed his diet. He started changing up a lot of things, like not eating like Popeyes, all that junk food, everything like that. So he might not have the power. His body might be reacting to it differently, especially during the pandemic. So like I said, I will have some exposure to it, not a whole lot. I do like Alexei Oleinik a lot at 7,500 on DraftKings and $16 on FanDuel. I think that's great. His average fantasy point scored is 74.3. Basically, like I said, same thing. Height and reach. He has a little bit higher finish rate at 93. I think he's probably one of the better underdogs. He does have a great chin. He has some good power. He can stand up. He's probably really pissed off too because I don't know if you guys follow Derek Lewis on Instagram, but he got Alexei Oleinik's food delivered to his hotel room and spat in his food and put it back and put it back in the hallway. So if I imagine if Alexei Oleinik or his people saw that they're probably going to be extremely pissed off and want to rip his head off. Co-main event, we got Akhmedov versus Weidman. Akhmedov's 8,200 on DK. FanDuel is 17. 20 and 4. Average fantasy point 61.9. He's got a 5-inch reach disadvantage and a 2-inch height disadvantage towards Weidman. Slight exposure, if anything. I think he's got a disadvantage. Like I said, as far as the height and reach, maybe a little bit of the wrestling, but he does have good power. And Weidman's not good. He's pretty dust right now. He's 1 in 5 in his last 6 fights, something like that. He has been fighting top talent fighters in the his respective divisions, but I'm not too big on it, man. Especially on these two tags of 16 and 17 and 82 and 8K. So getting to Weidman, like I just said, 8K DraftKings, 16 FanDuel, 14 and 5. Average fantasy score is 77.9. Like I said, some slight exposure. He does have the factor that he needs to win, or he's gonna have to retire. They're just not gonna let him fight anymore. He's not gonna go back to the regional scene, that's for sure. Probably gonna coach, something like that. So keep that in mind. He does have that motivation if you do like to play that kind of narrative. Third fight of the night, we got Stewart versus Patolo. Stewart comes in at 8,600 DraftKings, 17 FanDuel, 11 and 4 record, 53.8 average fantasy score. -1 on the reach, but +2 on the height. Not really interested. He's got a 5 and 5 UFC record, so that wasn't too appealing to me. And he's at a kind of an awkward price point at the 86. He's kind of where you could pay down a little bit. Get Akhmedov, just some other fighters that get you down here on the row, but very awkward price point. Given his record, not that great. I do like Patolo though. Patolo is 7,600, 14 on FanDuel. He's one of the better underdogs. 12 and 5 record, 71.8. 1 inch on the reach, -2 on the height. 71% finish rate, 60% takedown accuracy. So if he controls the pace, lays on top of him, controls the median fight pace of the cage, I think he can outscore him, outpoint him, maybe get a ground and pound finish, something like that. So I do like Patolo there for his price point. Fourth fight, you got the female fight of Kinitskaya at 8,800 on DraftKings, 16 on FanDuel. These FanDuel salaries are like very friendly this week. Win loss 12-5. Air fantasy points 55. 2-inch reach advantage, -1 height advantage. This is another like slight exposure, if anything, maybe like a little sprinkle of some shares, but nothing crazy. This is definitely one of those weeks where you want to min-max entry to maintain your value and try and maximize your output this week in Spike and Event. She's got a 67% finish rate. She's got late round finishes usually by her like average fight time. And she does have kind of a high price point for DraftKings at 8,800. Stoliarenko, though, on the other hand, is another underdog at like 7,400 and 13 on FanDuel. She's 4-4 though, 28-5, -2 on the reach, but +1 on the height. She's got an 89% finish rate. I definitely think she's a live dog. She has not been doing good in the UFC, but female submissions for underdogs in the last cards have been doing really, really well. So if you want to ride that narrative, that's fine. And I also think it's kind of a contrarian play where not a lot of people are going to have her. Fifth fight of the night, we got Dariush versus Holtzman. Dariush comes in at 9,100 DraftKings, $18 on FanDuel. He is 18-4, 72.3 average fantasy points, 3 inches on the reach advantage, and 1 inch on the height advantage. Just a little sprinkle of him. He's got a high price point. Usually goes for the finish, 67% finish rate. He does go to decision a lot, so that's something to be wary of. Holtzman, on the other hand, 7,100 on DraftKings, 14 on FanDuel. Comes in at 14-3. Average fantasy points, 82.9. -3 on the reach, -1 on the height. Just a sprinkle of him, 50% finish rate. Another one that goes to the distance a lot. He definitely can break the slate, though, if he wins. And Dariush is getting a bit of steam in the industry right now for it becoming one of the more favorable options at 9,100. So keep that in mind if you want to be contrarian, kind of leverage the field. Holtzman is definitely someone who can make it happen for you tonight. Sixth fight today, we got Strapoli versus Means. This is going to be a fucking slobber knocker. Strapoli comes in at 8,300 on DraftKings, $17 on FanDuel. He's 9-2, 53-8 average fantasy points scored, -4 on the reach, -1 on the height. Split shares, probably like 45% for Strapoli. He's got a 78% finish rate. He's got less experience than Means. I think the winner of this fight is definitely going to be in the optimal. So I do think that's the more favorable of this price range in the fight over the Akhmedov-Weidman fight. People might leverage towards the Akhmedov-Weidman fight strictly based on namesake. So keep that in mind. If you have some time to watch like some clips of either of these guys' fights, see which one you like a little bit more, which one you think is going to be your pressure a little bit more. Go with that for your exposure a little bit. But I do like the split on them. Just keep in mind, like it could like the loser could still get like 40 points based on like significant strikes, maybe some takedowns, stuff like that. But the winner is definitely going to be in the optimal. Tim Means, the other side of this fight, 7,900 on DK, 16 on FanDuel, 29-12, 63.1 average fantasy points scored, +4 on the reach and 1 on the height. Like I said, slightly more interest. He's got a little higher. He's got a little higher finish rate, like 5% more. I think obviously, like I said, the winner of this fight is in the optimal, and Means does have a 63% takedown defense, so that is good for your points scored as far as DraftKings over FanDuel. Seventh fight tonight, we got Buckley versus Holland. This is going to be weird. Hopefully Buckley doesn't pass out of sheer terror while walking out right before the fight. Buckley comes in at 6,800 on DK, $9 on FanDuel. I've literally never seen someone be this this low priced on FanDuel. It's kind of crazy. He's 10-2. He's making his debut. He's -8 on the reach, -4 on the height. I'm like not interested. He's making a late minute fight acceptance and is making his debut. He has a 70% finish rate though. He could be like the underdog that absolutely like destroys the slate, especially on FanDuel, where like you can have him as like your champion at like 1.5x his points for like $13 and literally still play anyone else you want to, and like you're gonna have a completely different lineup than everyone else. So keep that in mind. Wanting to be contrarian in large field tournaments. Holland on the other side comes in at 9,400 on DraftKings, $20 on FanDuel, 16-5, 73.4 average fantasy points scored, 8-inch reach and 4-inch height advantage. I do like Holland. I want to have less exposure than I do right now, strictly because I don't want Buckley to pass out right before he walks out. Holland's got an 82% finish rate. He's once again, like, both of them are taking this fight at the last minute on like a 1 week replacement after last week's debacle. So you can have it. There is a part of me, like I said, that wants like to not have as much exposure as I do right now. Harkpast versus Munoz. Harkpast comes in at 9K on DK and 19 on FanDuel, 11-3 for his record, 62.8 average fantasy points. They didn't list reach for Munoz, but Harkpast does have a 72-inch reach and a 1-inch height advantage. So I assume he probably has like maybe a 1 or 2-inch reach advantage, if anything, maybe even. Yeah, I'll have some exposure. He's got a high price, but he's got a 78% takedown defense. And I think he's got a little bit of favorable matchup. Munoz is a brawler though, 7,200 on DK, $11 on FanDuel. He's 6-0. He could definitely have a good upset here. He is a live dog for sure. I'll have a sprinkle of him, nothing too crazy. He's got a 50% finish rate, 66%. Oh shit, 66% takedown defense. He's got a 66% takedown accuracy, sorry. And he's super high level wrestler. He one of the coaches at Team Alpha Male and another camp over there, so it's definitely the real deal. He's like a 2-time like All-American. Like, he's a for real wrestler. So Munoz is definitely a live dog, so keep that in mind. Next fight, we got Thurman versus Sanchez. Thurman comes in at 8,500 on DK, 17 on FanDuel, 16-3, 60.3 average fantasy points, -2 on the reach, -1 on the height. Like I said, this is another one of those where you gotta have split shares between these like medium range price fights. 64% finish rate, definitely winner in the optimal, fucking slobber knocker all over it. I'm personally a little more partial to Sanchez. Coming in at 7,700, 15 on FanDuel, 12-5, 67.4 average points scored, 2-inch reach advantage and 1-inch height advantage. Like I said, a little more favorable. He's got a little better finish rate at 69 opposed to 64. I definitely think the winner's in the optimal. 10th fight, we got 3 more to go. Whizzing through this real quick. We got Tugger versus James. Tugger comes in at 8,400 on DK, 18 on FanDuel. He's 11-1. Average fights points is 58.8. -2 on the reach, -1 on the height. Split. One of those where the winners in the optimal, you definitely might want to mirror some of your lineups. Where like if you have like some of these guys in one, you want to swap them to the other one just to make sure you're exposed to a split, cover your bases. 82% finish rate for Tucker. Whereas the optimal, James is scary. 7,800 on DK, 13 on FanDuel, 16-4 record, 108 average points scored, 2-inch height, 1-inch reach advantage. I like him slightly more. Winners in the optimal. James just killed the man, so I do like that a lot. Next we got Yusef Zalal versus Barrett. I do like Zalal a lot here. Zalal comes in at 9,300 on DK, 19 on FanDuel, 8-2, 73 average points scored. Same reach advantage, 1 inch shorter. I do like him. I'll have some slight exposure because it is pretty high price point, super heavy favorite. He also hasn't been training. He was, that's right, Yusuf was cornering someone the past 2 weeks. So like he hasn't been like training for a fight, but he's been like training and he's in fight shape. So that does mean that like Barrett is really live, because he has like been training for a fight, trying to make his get in. So Barrett comes in at 6,900 on DK, $11 on FanDuel. So 11-3. We'll have like a sprinkle of him. Like I said, he's making his debut. He's gonna break the slate if he wins, but he's like my third ranked underdog. So it's really just how you correlate your lineup and where your prices line up. If you want to get like how much exposure you want to get to Barrett over like Zalal and etc. Last fight or the first fight, I got Rivera versus Kiasi. Rivera comes in at 8,900 on DK, $18 on FanDuel, 9-5. He's awful. He got torched last time he fought. That's why he's at 17 for his average points scored. Then he made an onset contender series. It wasn't too impressive. -2 on the reach. Didn't list Kiasi's height, so either way, I'm not interested. That's going to be a no for me, dog, on Rivera. 6-7% finish rate. He's like the least appealing of the high-end fighters. Then we got Kiasi, 7,300 DK, 12 on FanDuel, 8-3. He's making his debut. I will have some slight exposure to him. I do like him a lot, being some sneaky good value as someone who like people might not want to get on, being the first fight of the night, making his debut. But I think that's where your spots land to be contrarian, take advantage of the field, and just get some leverage. So, yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. If you're watching us on YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe. List my socials, all that, social media links down on the description. If you like this, got any value from it, please check out any other DFS stuff that I post. There will be a lot of DFS football stuff going. I got some season-long NFL stuff up right now for fantasy football season, which is literally right around the corner. It's crazy. We're already in September. Fastest, longest year ever. But anyway, hopefully you got some knowledge about this. Helps you out. And then, please like, comment, sub. Helps me as an independent content creator. And see you next time. Stay safe out there. Appreciate you.